It's Sunday night.
It's 9 o'clock.
Welcome to the Sanctuary.
Woo!
A very good evening to you, and I hope that you've had a great Mother's Day, that you've survived it, and I wonder how much money was spent on you. Did you know that approximately £1.6 billion has been spent today? So I hope quite a bit of that has been spent on you. Now tonight we've got a great show lined up for you. We have Rachel and Ben who are going to be sharing some wonderful music with us. We have some video from Hannah and Mike Barnes a little bit later in the program, and I'm thinking we might also have Ben Mathias lurking somewhere in the background a little bit later on. But it's going to be a great show, and I'm going to hand over straight to Ben and Rachel as they share something of a song and a story with us.
Well, it's just wonderful to be here at the Sanctuary tonight. Just really excited that we got asked to come and play for you all tonight. As Wayne said, I'm Rachel, and this is my son, Ben. Ben is 15 years old, and he is, what a darling on Mother's Day, isn't it? Doing that for his mum to make me proud. But I've got the privilege of having 3 lovely sons, and I've got another 2, Josh, who is 9, and Elijah, who is 6. And I absolutely love being a mum to boys. You know, there's never a dull moment in our house, is there, Ben? It's always a little bit crazy. There's always wrestling going on and lots of laughs. And you know what I love most about boys? I'm going to embarrass Ben now. They're cutchy. Boys are cutchy, what can I say? But yeah, and all of them are musical, which is just a dream come true for me. And I was saying to Ben on the way here tonight that it's a bit of a dream to get to play with him tonight, do a little gig together. So the first song we're going to do is one of my favourites, and it's called You've Got a Friend. And, you know, my dad used to sing this to me when I was a child. We'd used to have, like, family evenings round the fire, and the lights would go down, and it'd be all cosy, and he'd sing this to us. You know, and then one day when I was in my 20s, living in London, I was going through a real traumatic time, and my parents were actually living in Tanzania at the time, in Africa, and all I wanted was just to see them. And I had this recording of my dad singing this song, you know, and I put it on. And as I listened, the tears just started to flow. And it was like he was there with me in that moment, you know. And I love how powerful music is to stir emotions within us. And that was just a real healing moment for me. And this is a song that I sing to the kids sometimes at bedtime, and they love it too. So, yeah. Just always want them to know that they've got a friend in me. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, running, running to see you again. Oh, baby, don't you know that winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes, I will. You've got a friend. You got a friend. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Oh, baby, you've got a friend.
Well, that's an easy one for me to clap for, Rachel and Ben, because the Carol King song is just an amazing song, and I was saying earlier that for me, the James Taylor version is just absolutely amazing, but I think you did it justice, so thanks very much for such a fantastic song. Now, we're going to do a change of pace now as we watch a video that's been especially prepared this evening by Hannah and Mike Barnes of the Leg Up Theatre Company. And it's just a tribute, really, to all of you lockdown mums and all of the stuff that you've been going through. And maybe if you're watching live this evening, if you guess where the song, the melody comes from, please stick it up on social media and let's see who gets it first. But this is Hannah Barnes at her best, and I think also at her worst. So let's see what happens next.
Okay. I see what's happening here. You're face to face with Mother's Day and it's strange. You don't even know how you feel. It's adorable. But it's nice to see the children never change. Open your eyes, let's begin. Yes, it's really me, your mummy. Breathe it in. I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod, when you're staring at a mummy god. What can I say except you're welcome for the nappies, the feeds, the hugs. Hey, it's okay, you're welcome. Just please don't buy me any more crappy mugs. Hey, what has two arms and held you in the nude when you are in a clingy mood? This dude, while my tea got cold, who read you through the Gruffalo. You're looking at a yo. Oh, also I drove you around. You're welcome to every club and kids' playground. Also I gave up my food. You're welcome, and saved you when you hadn't chewed. So what can I say except you're welcome for all the times that I cleaned up your mess. It's all I do every day. It's constant, really. My days seem to be filled with nothing less. You're welcome. Welcome to think of it, kid. Honestly, I could go on and on. I could explain I'm a mother phenomenon. The bum wipes and boogies I found. Oh, could you please stop that deafening sound? I hide in the loo or under the stair to get time alone, but you still find me there. What's the lesson? Where is my takeaway?
Don't mess with mummy when she's on a cleaning day.
And the tapestry here on my top is a mix of your food, dirt and snot. Look around here, I make everything happen. Look at this change bag of food for your constant snacking. Hey, woo! Well, anyway, let me say you're welcome for the way that I cared as you grew. It's not been that easy, but hey, you're welcome. But it's been worth the sleepless nights, the fights and boo. Hey, it's my day, so I'll say you're welcome. But I don't do it for thanks, it's fine. I'm graying away, you're welcome. Now mommy really needs that wine. You're welcome.
Mimi.
Oh my days, that was amazing. I was weak then. Totally relate to that. What can I say? Well done, Mohana. Nice. That was brilliant. So much fun. Yeah, the next song we're going to do actually is a song that I wrote for Ben when he was a baby. When he was really tiny. And you know when you have a newborn and you're in that kind of loved up baby bubble and you can't stop looking at them and touching them and embarrassing him again. Yeah, and all you want to do is just like keep them really close to you. But there are ups and downs, aren't they? Like Hannah was just showing us in that video. Like 1 minute you're like, oh, you're amazing. And the next minute they're screaming and you're like, you're so annoying. And this is one of those songs. It's kind of like really cute most of the way. But then Ben thinks it's offensive. Look out for the offensive line. Okay. This is called What a Feeling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lying here, you're all I see. You're keeping close, close to me. What a feeling! Oh, what a joy! Oh, what a joy! The elation of this blessing, it keeps my heart always singing. What a feeling! Oh, what a joy! 'Cause when you're lying here in my arms, I'll protect you from any harm, keeping you close by my side. The beauty of the mother and child, nature's perfect harmony. Oh, perfect harmony. And you're so funny when you're laughing, but when you're screaming, oh, you're annoying. But what a feeling! Oh, what a joy! Oh, what a joy! When you're lying here in my arms, I'll protect you from any harm, keeping you close by my side. The beauty of a mother and child, nature's perfect harmony. Oh, perfect harmony. 'Cause you're a blessing, feel so fine. You blow my mind. What a feeling, what a joy. And you're a blessing, it feels so fine. You blow my mind. What a feeling, oh, what a joy. 'Cause when you're lying here in my arms, I'll protect you from any harm, keeping you close by my side. The beauty of a mother and child, nature, perfect harmony. Ooh, perfect harmony. Lying here, you're all I see. Keeping close, close to me. Nature, perfect harmony.
Thanks very much again, Ben and Rachel. Now, we have 2 Mathiases in the building this evening, but there is a third, and that guy is called Adam, and Adam's going to be bringing a poem to us next. It's a poem that was written by Jess Morgan, and it celebrates the fact that there are all kinds of mums in the world today. So, over to you, Adam.
To all, To all of the mothers who've had breakfast in bed, to the ones who've cherished memories instead, to the grandmothers who've stepped in to bring the kids up, to the grey-haired children who miss mum so much, to the dads who are in two parenting roles, to the women who've loved deeply from the bottom of their souls. Even if the genetics don't quite match, the heart of a mother goes deeper than that. To those who still long to be a mother, to you who mentor in place of another, to the siblings who share the raising of young ones, and the carers who selflessly become temporary mums, to those who wish they saw family more, where forgiveness is needed to mend a sore. You are who this day is for. In the moments where family life isn't working out, and you're really struggling not to scream and shout, try and steal a moment to come before Jesus, because he's always there. He always sees us.
Thanks very much, Adam, for reading that poem. And before Ben and Rachel bring their last song, I wonder what image or thought comes into your mind when you think about what it is to be a mother. Because that poem reminds us that there are so many different kinds of people or mothers, and they are often for all sorts of different reasons. So here's a thought. It's not quite so popular now, but do you remember when today was sometimes called Mothering Sunday? In the week, it set me thinking about what does it mean to be motherly? When you think of a mother, perhaps you immediately think biological. When you think of being motherly, well, that's a different set of characteristics which can actually be for all sorts of people in all sorts of circumstances. Now, maybe if you're online at the moment, why not share what you think is being motherly? A big one for me is that motherly people usually put their children and their loved ones first, often to the point of self-sacrifice. And sometimes when loved ones are having a terrible tantrum, or are in the middle of a teenage rebellion, or maybe now they have to be motherly to an elderly parent who's being awkward and is frustrated with their age, motherly people hang on in there and give of themselves because they love very deeply indeed. Now, there's a great passage in Matthew's Gospel, right at the end, chapter 23, when Jesus himself talks about acting like a mother. But it's fascinating because the object of his affection is not family, it's not even someone who's loving or kind. Rather, he's talking about the people of Jerusalem, and he feels towards them like a hen who's trying to gather her chicks under her wings to protect them. And this is how he feels about them. But Jerusalem didn't want him. This is what he says: "How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you weren't willing." You know what? Although this is how Jerusalem felt about Jesus, this did not change Jesus' motherly feelings towards them. Selfless, sacrificial love. So maybe this evening we could think about a couple of practical things. Number one, who are you mothering at the moment? Who are you tenderly loving? Because that's not bound to biology, rather it's about us binding ourselves to people who need to be mothered. And more importantly, think carefully about Jesus this evening. The Bible is quite clear about Mary's love for her son, and Jesus knew that he was dearly loved by his mother, and I wonder that as he looked at Jerusalem, if he had his mother's love in his mind as he talked about the hen and her chicks. The focus on his words were on people like you and me. His tender, loving concern for you and me is just like that of a mother hen. But it's about whether or not we want to come under the protection of the mother's wings. As we come to the end of another Mother's Day, we won't stop being grateful for our mothers and those who act like mothers. But maybe tonight you could also give some serious thought to Jesus. the one who loved you in your mother's womb, and the one who sacrificed himself for you completely. There is something like a mother in that. We're going to go over now to Ben and Rachel as they bring us the final song of the evening.
Well, thank you, Wayne. That was a great thought that you just shared. And I love the fact that, people can be mothers in different ways, can't they? Mother's Day can be such a lovely day for so many, and we feel celebrated and loved. But for some, it can be quite hard, really. It can be a day perhaps of loss or disappointment. And maybe your experience of having a mother isn't great either. But, we sang at the beginning a song about you've got a friend. And, there is a friend that Wayne spoke about tonight called Jesus. And there is no greater friend than Jesus. We can try and be the best mums in the world, but there is none more faithful than him. And so just as we close out with this song, why don't you just reflect on that there is a God who loves you. There is a God who cares for you. There is a God who is more faithful and will never leave you. This is what a friend I found. What a friend I found, closer than a brother. I have felt your touch, more intimate than lovers. Friend forever. What a hope. What a hope I found, more faithful than a mother. It would break my heart to ever lose each other. Jesus, friend forever. You're my friend forever. You're my friend forever. You're my friend forever. You're my friend.
Well, my thanks to Rachel and Ben Mathias this evening, to Mum and Son as they've shared their gifts with us, their songs, and touched our hearts as we've listened to what they've had to say. Thanks also, Rachel, for sharing some thoughts and a part of your story with us tonight. So we've come to the end of another program, and it's been great to have you join us And as we are asking, please share the program, like it on Facebook, and get the word out. It's such an encouragement to see so many people watching and sharing, and we want to continue that journey of inviting people to be a part of what we're trying to do here, and that is simply to tell people about this amazing person called the Lord Jesus Christ. And our desire is at the end of each week to bring a blessing to you. And I thought this week I'd read to you a little passage from the beginning of another gospel, from John's gospel, as we think about parents and children. And John was a man who loved Jesus very much. He was one of his disciples, and he lived with him closely for 3 years. And this is what he wrote about Jesus right at the beginning of his story of Jesus. He says, "The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world didn't recognize him." That's what I mentioned earlier. He came to that which was his own, but his own didn't receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, listen to this, he gave the right to become the children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision, but born of God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, and he was full of grace and truth. And our prayer for you this week is that you would know the love of the Father and the love of the Son. You would know for yourselves the grace and the truth of Jesus. Amen.